We are live. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sean Lou, aka Reverend Lyle Lewis, coming back at you one more time with two black eyes. That's right. We're looking at something for. Oh, sorry, y'all. That's just my alarm saying that stuff's about to happen. It's my alarm saying it's time to do the show. So we are going ahead. Go ahead and cover. Let me go ahead and get this light down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better, I guess. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So, as you all know, just doing quick formalities. Please, by all means, if you guys are new to the channel or if you like the channel, please click like and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are here, as you know, I changed the name of the channel to Lewtown Productions instead of Sean Lou. Simply because I'm going to be turning this into a whole entire platform for all the different kinds of things that I do. So for right now, I got my preaching podcast, which is the Pain Fighters podcast. So if you want to be motivated, if you're looking to, for spiritual salvation or whatever the case may be, me being I am a minister. So by all means, hop over there and have a listen to me. Or hey, if you just want to listen to the goofy, dumb, random stuff that I like to rant and rave about, by all means, keep looking at Two Black Eyes, because I'm going to keep looking at you. Thank you guys for tuning in again. By all means, click like and subscribe. So click the bell icon so that in this way, anytime I put up one of these stupid videos, you'll be the first to see it. All right. So, and then also don't forget, check out my comic novels podcast. Pretty soon I'm going to be updating it. I'm going to be doing a bunch of other stuff on it, some good, some goofy stuff. Finished reading some of my novels that I've been working on. And they're mine. They're not that anything that I've been reading. These are things that I've been working on myself. These are my own creations that I'm putting on there. So everything on there is a Lewtown original. So if you want to hear something that's, you like listening to books, or you just want to listen to something goofy and crazy, hop over to my podcast, Comic Novels, or hop over to the Reverend Lyle Lewis podcast, which is the Pain Fighter podcast. So it's like I got a podcast, and then I also have the live stream show. So now that we're done with the formalities, we are going to cover in respect to Blac History Month, we are going to look at Black history the only way that Two Black Eyes can, and that is by looking at a bunch of goofy, pointless things, such as black fighters who are not necessarily they're not like people are there. It's like, okay, when you think of a fighter, you think of a martial artist or whatever, you're thinking of people like Bruce Lee, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Scott Adkins, Michael Jai White, or maybe somebody from the UFC that comes and does a movie or something like that. You're not really thinking of these individuals that I'm going to mention. I'm pretty sure there are plenty more other individuals out there from maybe movies that either I haven't seen or maybe movies that I just forgot. And please, by all means, if you know of these individuals, hey, if you want to give some honorable mentions, or if there's somebody who you believe should be on this list, by all means, put it into the comments. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Okay. So unorthodox individuals who are fighters but aren't fighters, okay? Who were in movies doing fighting but aren't necessarily, entertainment fighters. Now, there is one individual that I do have to mention in here who he is an entertainment fighter. Well, there's two of them. And they do what they did, they either do or did a very great job when they were on the screen. And I want to go ahead and mention those two. Of course, one of them is The Rock. You know what I'm saying? With it, yes, no, you can't, it's like, he went from, hell, I remember his first days in the WWE when he had this doggone, he had this like spaghetti hair, you know what I'm saying? And his finishing move was a shoulder breaker. And then he come back as The Rock, he was Rocky Maivia, and then he come back as The Rock. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, man, he he really did really good. And when you see him on film actually fighting, when you see him in a fight scene, now mind you, understand this: when you're doing fight scenes, and this is coming from an individual who I'm working on. I'm not a professional. This is just me, just somebody who it's more or less like a hobby of mine to choreograph fights, which I will be putting on the channel once I get individuals who would actually like to choreograph fight scenes with me. But as somebody who likes to choreograph fight scenes, and as somebody who I'm a bit of a stunt man, not official, but just this is just I do like to do stunts and things like that. But I have done my fair share of fight scenes, nothing professional, of course. But to do a fight scene and to have it be where your hits, your response time, when you hit, how you get hit, your falls, your like all these things, and then of course it's still with production and editing and all that other kind of stuff that plays a factor in it too. But to actually be somebody who, when you're on screen and you're actually doing this for entertainment, you know what I'm saying? Be it that he's doing it in the ring in the WWE or he's, on screen, he has a presence of, when he knuckles up, like, it's about to go down. You get excited, you get goosebumps. You're like, oh man, like this dude is, man, he's crazy. It's just like, God, like, you really, really, really do grow to love him, his character, the way that he presents himself. Like one movie I really, really did like him in was in Hercules. I really did like it because it was like, yeah, he was a fighter, but just, it wasn't like, like fighting, fist fight. It was like him, like full on, like showing like, strength, sword fighting, blah, 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 things like that. Like him as a warrior, and it was just like to see him in that light and to see, how he, like, from where he's come from to where he is now. One of the highest paid action superstars out there. He really does, in my opinion, deserve the title, and he really does. He really is like, the best there is, one of the best that there is, I should say. Definitely, I will say that he has earned the title as most electrifying man. So, hats off to you, Rock. Thank you for all the years of entertainment and sacrifice that you have put in, because, man, you are one entertaining guy to watch. So let me go to the next individual. Very entertaining to watch. And even though we never really seen him in any other movies, the one movie that I did see him in, like, my goodness, just heart pounding. Like, his fight scene was just so, like, captivating. And that is Mike Tyson, the legendary Mike Tyson. When he did Ip Man, I believe it was Ip Man 3, and he fought Donnie Yen. Oh man! And even though he was just being Mike, that was so fantastic. That's what was really fantastic. Even though he was supposed to be this character, it was like you knew that's Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And when he came, like, you know what I'm saying? Words cannot express how exciting it was to watch that fight. I mean, I watched that fight over and over and over again. I watched what he's doing. It was just great to really see what he was doing and really see how he put everything together. You can tell, like, that wasn't like, the choreography on that was not necessarily like, what would I say, like, foreign. It wasn't anything more or less like, you could tell like nobody really had to really coach him. You can tell that was what he does. You know what I'm saying? He just came in doing what he does best, and just completely entertaining to watch. Of course, Mike Tyson, always entertaining to watch when he was in the ring. You know what I'm saying? You got to love him when he's fighting people. He's a very entertaining fighter. He's a brutal fighter. Powerhouse. But then, when you see him on screen actually doing this, and it's just put it in a whole new different light and perspective, you just had to love it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, what? Anybody who has not seen Ip Man 3, just Google it. Google Mike Tyson versus Ip Man. Just Google. You will not be disappointed. It is a fantastic fight. All right. I don't care if you want to look at it from the martial arts angle or if you want to look at it from the boxing angle. If you just like Mike Tyson, whatever, just look at it. It's worth the look. Okay. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Okay. All right. So Moving on. Let's see who else we got. Somebody that I know a lot of people have forgotten about, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was, he was a basketball player way back in the day, and he starred in a movie. Well, he didn't star in a movie, but he was in a movie that was called The Game of Death, which is a Bruce Lee movie. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a big Bruce Lee fan. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when he fought Bruce Lee in this movie, did a fantastic job. Now, I don't know if he's continued to study martial arts before or after the movie, but when he did the actual movie, Bruce Lee did have to train him on some pointers and things like that. But when Bruce Lee helped him with the choreography, and when they put it together and put it on screen, I mean, the two were they just knocked it out of the park. Okay. Like when you look at that fight scene, you see how he's moving. You can see martial arts isn't necessarily his thing, but you can still see he still has that prowess about him to move. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we look at a lot of people and it's always, we want to look at, the movements that they do. Sometimes it's not necessarily about the movements that they do. Sometimes it's just about that they can move. It's about that they can make it look convincing. They can make it look like, this is something possible that they could do also other than whatever else they're doing. So, they're very entertaining. Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was very, 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 very entertaining to watch. And in the process of him doing that, it was just phenomenal just to see him, and Bruce Lee, the two. I mean, it was like, you wouldn't think that somebody who plays basketball was able to do what he did and really just make it look like such a great, fantastic thing. So, I mean, it was just, man, it was nuts. I mean, anybody who hasn't seen it, check it out. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Game of Death, Google it, and I assure you, it'll be something fantastic to watch. All right. So, moving on. What else do we have? Let's see. Who else can we mention? I'll tell you somebody else who we can mention. Lawrence Fishburne. All right. Now, Lawrence Fishburne, to my knowledge, is not a martial artist. But when he did The Matrix and he did another movie, Precinct 15 or whatever the case may be, something like that, Precinct 57 or something like that. It was something like where he was like trying to escape some mobsters. He was in prison or something like that. But with Ethan Hawke, I think he was a movie he did with Ethan Hawke where he was fighting in that movie, I believe. But when you watched him in The Matrix and you seen you can tell he really put a lot of work in time and practice into the choreography. But to be honest, with how clean cut it was, it still looked so good. It looked like if you want to see what a martial arts fight is supposed to be, you see him doing it, and he's his movements were nice, they were crisp, you know what I'm saying? They were fluent. He looked like, he really did look like, he was an actual practitioner of the fight style of karate and kung fu and things like that. He looked great doing this stuff. I mean, I have no complaints about it. You see how he was in there fighting with Neo. He was fighting with the agents. You know what I'm saying? He was and it was I really do believe that if he did practice, if he does really practice martial arts, that if he really does throw hands, he really would be somebody who's he would be definitely underestimated, but definitely somebody who you would definitely want to watch out for. He just, I mean, it's slightly disappointing to see that he didn't do more fight scenes in movies, but at the same time, it's still Lawrence Fishburne, he's just a great actor either way. I love his movies, but when you see him in The Matrix, and he stepped outside of that role of what he normally man, just you gotta love it because I love martial arts. All right, I'm sorry, I love martial arts. I don't care, even if it's cheesy. All right, even if it's cheesy, horrible choreography. If it's got martial arts in it, I go nuts over it. I love it. All right. So Lawrence Fishburne is another individual. You got to check him out. For those of you who have not looked at The Matrix, I don't know. You must be living on a rock somewhere. You got to go look at the original Matrix movies. All right. Watch Lawrence Fishburne in there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The man is entertaining to watch. He's a pleasure to watch when he is in that movie. You know, his character, his fight scenes, you know, his struggles and all that other kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, he's not the star, but you know, he really does add great support for that whole series. I mean, you got to love it. It's hands down, like, you know what I'm saying? This is really one of the reasons why The Matrix was so great, because you had great actors in it who really did. You could tell that they brought their all. Lawrence Fishburne, when he did the movie, he really did bring his A game to the movie. So, you know, Lawrence Fishburne is a very good mention. Another individual who you gotta love his work. Denzel Washington. Now, when I seen Denzel Washington and what is it? Oh, son of a gun. You guys know the movie where The Equalizer. When I seen whoever choreographed that movie, all right, whoever choreographed the fight scenes in that movie, you know what I'm saying? You see them in The Equalizer, you see them in the Book of Eli. Never would have thought that Denzel Washington was an individual who could throw hands. But man, oh man, oh man, oh man, does he look good when he's doing it. Okay, his stuff looks like a guy who, like, you know, he looks like he is that kind of old man who, like, you know, he's just like, this old dude, I could beat him, and he winds up like knocking you out, like, you know, like that. Like, you know, the way he does it, you know, it's like you can tell, like, no, he's not somebody who's practiced his whole life, but at the same time, you can tell, like, he's got the chops for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are individuals, all these individuals are individuals who I'm like, man, I would have loved to have seen them in more fight scenes, you know, be it martial arts or just whatever, you know. And I mean, when you see, you know, that Denzel Washington as an action superstar, it's like I said, on one hand, it's like, at first, when I heard about the Book of Eli, I was like, whatever, you know, it sounds stupid. And then, like, when I see him, like, holy crap, like, this dude is bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when I seen him in Equalizer, I'm like, what the hell is he been doing all the time? He needs to start doing more movies like this. Like, you know, I got excited because I like the man. Okay. Denzel Washington is a great actor. Okay, he's a very great actor. Gotta love his work. You know, I love a lot of his movies. You know, I haven't, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen them all, but you know, that what I've seen, I've liked the majority of it. But when I seen those two movies, you know, oh man, just I don't know, dude. It's just, whoo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's you can't tell me it's not great to watch. Fun to watch. He's a fun individual to watch when he's doing his thing and, you know, throwing hands on the screen. So, I mean, you know, what more can you ask for an entertainer who can act across the whole spectrum? Him, Lawrence Fishburne, like, they've been in multiple different roles, from comedy to drama to whatever. And, like, you know, they do a decent job. And then, like, you know, it's very hard to put individuals who do, like, a lot of those kind of movies, you put them in an action movie. And then, like, you know, to have it be where when you put them in an action movie, and the action movie is not just them jumping from a train or, you know, running, or it's actually where there's like all kinds of action where, you know, they got to do stunts, there's running, there's fighting, there's like, it's the whole spectrum. And you see that when these individuals are put into the movie, like, they fit right in, like, so perfectly. There's no, you know, it doesn't look foreign. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look awkward. It doesn't look odd. It looks good. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, you gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm trying to think. By all means, if I'm forgetting somebody, you know, please put them down in the comments. I mean, I'm not trying to forget them, but, you know, hey, you know, but so far, that's pretty much. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Let's see. No, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, Okay, so one of my honorable mentions is he was a former wrestler, and he's just, whether you're looking at him on the screen or I'm pretty sure if you see him in real life, he does not look like the individual you want to mess with. And that's Tiny Zeus Lester. I remember seeing him, back in the 80s when he fought Hulk Hogan. I forget what the movie was where they made a movie with him and Hulk Hogan where they fought. And then it was like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or something like that where Hulk Hogan and Zeus, that was his name as a wrestler, Zeus, they went at it. And I mean, it's like when you see Tiny Zeus Lester on the screen, it's like, yeah, you look at him, you're thinking Devo. You know, me, I automatically think Zeus because that's where I originally seen him as Zeus, you know, on this show. I forget if it was 80s or I think it was 80s. It could have been early 90s, but I think it was 80s. And I mean, you know, when you see him, honestly, I just like to watch him. He seems like a funny individual to me. He seems like the guy. I mean, I've never met him. I would really like to meet him one day. That is an individual who I would like to definitely meet. But he is a fighter who has been on the screen. And you know, when he does this thing on the screen, you know, you know, like when he fought Ice Cube and Friday, like, you know, you know, I thought I know it wasn't a comedy, but at the same time, I found it kind of hilarious when they put him as the president in The Fifth Element. But you know, it's. I would really like to have seen him in a lot more movies. He really was a delight to watch, in my opinion. I definitely would have loved to have seen him in much more like fight scenes and things like that. Because I mean, I really do. He seems like you know, he reminds me of like a Black Bolo Young. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just that guy. Like, you know, he'll just like you start fighting him and he just starts screaming for no reason. Like, you know, just I don't know. That's just what I see when I see him, if I would ever see him in movies. But yeah, that's for the most part. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else, but no. By all means, if there's anybody who I'm missing, even if it's a female, maybe I'm missing, you know, one of the females. I don't know. Male, female, doesn't matter, you know. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's because it's Black History Month that they have to be black. Again, this is just what, you know, Two Black Eyes wanted to present for Black History Month. But hey, it doesn't matter. If there's somebody who they're not necessarily a martial artist, you know, they don't necessarily fit in the martial arts category, but they look good on screen fighting, by all means, let me know. Put it in the comments. And hey, we can do another show about other individuals. Be it black, white, Hispanic, doesn't matter. Whatever. Like I said, this is just the Black History Month tribute. So, you know, that's just what I did. You know, if anybody has watched my shorts, thank you. This is the useless information of the day. I'm going to be dropping more of those. They're just kind of fun to do. Just do goofy, random, dumb stuff, useless information. But hey, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Please give us some kills, some clisses. Click like, subscribe, click the bell icon for more. So that then this way you can, you know, you'll know what's going on when we're coming to, you know, the screen. And by all means, come check us out. Check me out on my other podcast, Reverend Lyle Lewis podcast, Pain Fighters podcast. Yeah, but I think it's called Reverend Lyle Lewis. I think I haven't looked it up. I'm sorry. What else? Check out my comic novels podcast. And by all means, just continue to check in with Lewtown Productions here on YouTube. If you want to listen to me preach, or if you want to listen to me rant and rave about dumb, stupid stuff that means nothing to nobody. Either way, I love you all. So I'm going to get out of here and go enjoy my Saturday. And I will see you guys next week. So in the meantime, take care. Later. One day I'm going to learn to fade to black. Boom.